work it out for my good. You love me too much, too much, too much, excess love. Yeah. You love me too much, you love me too much, excess love. Thank you for loving me too much. Hey guys. Unconditionally love. Thank you for loving me. Hey Toby Taiwo, how are you? How are you doing? It's good to have you here. Good. Hey guys. So nice to have you here again. We are live. If you can put that up on your stories, we are live. We are live. We are live. Okay, I'm just gonna do my final post. It's super duper good to have everybody here. Okay. All right. Okay. Hi, relationship and life. I'm not sure who that is, so I do not want to guess. Hey, Kenny. How goes you? How are you? There is so much we are going to learn today. Hi, Tosin. How are you, everybody? How was your week, guys? My week went fast. Like I had plans to do a retreat, which I did do eventually. But let me first confirm, is my audio very good or do you need me to adjust anything? Can you guys let me know if you need me to adjust anything? Are we all good? A-okay? So as I was saying, I had an interesting week because I decided that I wanted to take time out to have like a retreat, which was nice. I successfully did 2 days. Today being the second day. But the funny thing was, I don't know, you know that feeling of, did I touch on everything I wanted to touch on? That kind of feeling, I'm not sure. So, but I'm glad I was able to take time out this week because I've had a bit of back-to-back in the last few weeks. Tell me, guys, how was your week? Toby, how was your week? All right, great. Thanks, Toby, for the feedback. Mrs. O, how was your week? How was your week? All right. Where is my phone? Okay. Super duper duper. Kenny, how was your week? Fantastic. All right, so let's just put it on. Everybody says week's been good. Please tell me what was good. Did you meet new people, close new deals? Like, what made it good? What made it good? What made it good? Kenny's like, kind of stressful, but we move. I love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I guess, as I said, it was the week that I know I was supposed to just be. Um, and do nothing, like absolutely nothing. In fact, I had someone from the US, one of my like covenant relationships, she's a prophet. She sent a message. No, so we were talking yesterday, and she said to me, Olori, I sense that, you're supposed to just watch a movie. And I almost had this sense of, no, I don't believe so. That kind of thing where you want to, by force, feel like you need to do something. And God is like, just sit down and just relax. So that was interesting. And I did try to watch something. I ended up watching a documentary, so I was still learning. I probably watched two actually. I don't know. There's just an addiction to learning, and I'm not going to be sorry, actually. I enjoy it. I genuinely, genuinely enjoy it. Hi, MEC. How are you? Hope you're good. All right, we're just going to give people a few minutes because it's 10. But before a few more people come up, I just wanted to kind of like give a bit of context to what we're going to be talking about today and why it's really, really, really important. I'm quite passionate about this topic. I realize that one of the reasons that reinvention. Hey, Debbie Zoe, how you doing? Hi, Niger Joe. Love it. Thanks for joining in, guys. Really nice to have you all here. Good evening. Good evening. Um, I'll go back because now I have to do my intro, isn't it? Welcome to the Reinventing Yourself Time Machine series, part 3. We're on a part 3, some 10. And this one is really going to be looking at relationship management systems. That's what we're going to be looking at tonight. And like I was, just saying earlier, that this is one of the topics that I am really, really passionate about, just for different reasons, to be honest, because I've had a very reflective day, and I just realized that everything I have today, everything I am today, is because someone somewhere, a relationship brought me out of where I used to be. And I've never for one second taken relationships for granted. I think sometimes some of us just ignorantly don't know how to manage relationships. We don't know how to steward relationships. We don't know how to maximize that relationship for it to actually do something significant in our lives. So another reason is because we think that relationship will last forever. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school, hey Ngozi, hey Taiwo, thanks guys for joining in. Please put it on your stories. Tell everyone to join in. Like, you're one relationship away from your next contract, your next admission, your next internship, your next relationship, marital status change relationship. There's just so much that you're one relationship away from. So gather around, get your popcorn, get your cookies, get your ice cream, and let's really have fantastic, very productive and informative, spirit-filled conversations tonight. It is an engaging conversation. That's why we're starting early. I wanted to give people the opportunity to ask questions in the chat box, and I'll be very happy to answer those questions to the best that I can. Okay, so as I was saying about relationships, for me it's very simple. I feel like the people who don't know why, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have these moments where I'm like, why is my life like this? Why haven't I attained a better level in life? Why is it that I don't have access to this? Why am I not being called to that? And yes, life is in seasons, life is in phases, all of that. But sometimes I feel like unknowingly we are the ones who are actually shortchanging ourselves from getting to the next level or getting into what God would have for us in each season. I'm going to dive right in just because, like I said, like we're going to be dealing on three major areas, and I'm a storyteller a little bit. So prepared to be swamped with my stories tonight, but I promise you they're like very, yeah, so I'll start with the one that I, you know, talked about in my story, which was in 20, that scenario. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just give a bit of background, right? So some years ago, which was probably like 2017, thereabout, I'd say it was 2017 when this happened. My one of my very, very close friends, he had this mentor, right? So they knew each other some way, somehow. And my friend was very, very keen on always sort of taking me to different areas of his life. So, opportunities he had, different seminars, and this mentor's relationship was one of them for him. So he was like, Olori, come, let's go. And, I want to introduce you to someone. And that was the beginning of many learning curves for me about relationships and why you must understand the purpose for every relationship in your life. If you think that everyone is in your life for you to be jolly, merry, shoulder body and all of that. While those things may be true, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't have relationships like that. I'm just saying that you really must understand and identify the purpose for which you are in a relationship with anybody. I mean, anybody. If you're over the age of 18, you must define relationships in your life. Nobody gets to walk into your life anyhow, leave anyhow, abuse you anyhow. You have to put boundaries in place. But let me come back to my story. So, very quickly, I met with his mentor. I saw why he was his mentor. The guy has like crazy, crazy achievements. He has a thriving business in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria. He's like multi-million dollar kind of, guy. So the respect was there because at the end of the day, it's all about the results, right? So, um, but their relationship was fairly new. So I came in quite from the onset. People of in YouTube. That's how, like I said in my stories, this guy would, as soon as we finish eating and we're about to leave, you just see he would call for the bill, and my friend would just take his ATM out, bam, just pay. Some days it was as low as like 90K, 100K, and some days it was as high as like 500K in one night. I mean, now that money is not a lot, but I feel like then, I was like, please, what are we eating? I can cook in my house, guys. Hello. I can quickly rustle up a thing or two. We don't need to be spending money like this just because we're discussing business. And like, just to give the others who don't understand, that's why I'm going over the story again. And I remember one day we were walking out, it was in Oriental. We walked out of that hotel in Lagos, right? And I was like, why do you always need to pay? I was so irritated. I was like, why? Why do you always feel the need to pay? And he was like, he said what he said about, nice guys. People think that they are going to be the last because they are Mr. Nice Guy, but really they're just in a different lane because they have what they are going for. I missed that memo clearly. And as I was going home, I was like, this poverty thing, because poverty is not the lack of money, it's the lack of a it's the lack of a wealthy mindset. Let me just leave it like that. It's not that you are poor in cash. It's just that you can't think beyond a certain thing, a certain level. You're just poor in mindset. So I went home that day and I was like, oh my gosh. And first of all, I needed to repair my friend's perception of me so that he doesn't feel like, OBA, OBA. Like, how could you not see the end goal? So, I had that one relationship to amend. Then, of course, I had to amend the other relationship because let me tell you what started to happen. In the meetings that we were now going to and all of that, do you know that you give off energy when you are irritated by things? Have you noticed that you get irritated and people can just sort of pick up on your vibe? Hey, Oge. Hey, Christiana. How you guys doing? Like people can just pick up on your vibe. Like this person is not okay with me. So I think the guy started to pick up that this girl is like she's behaving funny. That kind of thing. I just said in my mind, I was like, I'm not funny. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the poverty, my background that was trying to mess me up. Hello, Ladipo Street. We don't understand 500K on food. That's like somebody's rent, family, allowance, food allowance for like the whole year. So spending that in one night, it was just messing with me on different levels at the time. So I'm going to go to the first thing I did. The first question was, the first thing I did was I have to learn from this guy. That was the first thing I came to understand that, I don't know what I think I know, right? And if I did know, it was the wrong thing, right? So the first thing I did was I stopped thinking that he was spending money. I realized that he was investing that money in that relationship. So he didn't see it as spending. For him, it was, I'm with my mentor. I know what I'm looking for. I need to make this relationship chummy. And this is something that you need to learn, guys. Look, there are many seasons you're going to go through with your different relationships that are vertical. And when we talk about vertical relationships, we're talking about the ones that they are above you. So you're going to be learning like in a way that is this way as opposed to horizontally, right? So the vertical relationships are the ones that are usually upward. Now, it could also be with your friends, your age mates, don't get me wrong. But now, what you are really leaning into in those relationships are the grace they carry, the anointing they carry, the favor they enjoy. So you can still have a vertical relationship with your age mates or your friends, but you just understand that this person carries a grace for something that I do not have. So, like I said, so I stopped thinking about it that way. The second thing I did was I humbled myself. Look, the things you don't know are the reason why you are where you are. I promise you, the day you know different, you will start to enjoy a certain level of access. And I'm not talking about access as in a door. I'm talking about access as in illumination, access as in awareness, access as in exposure. Your mind starts to expand so that your experiences can also expand. Look, I'm of the opinion that you really need to position yourself to let life teach you what you don't know. And that takes a whole lot of humility. You will eat that humble pie. You'll be eating it like this every single day. Take it on don't worry, you'll be okay. Because by the time I now wanted to learn from his mentor, I think the man had picked up that, this girl, you now want to come back because you realized you're wrong. Because after a while, me too, I started bringing out ATM. You understand? That did not look as if I'm not learning on the job. I started bringing out my ATM like, please, this my own small change. Please just manage it, that kind of thing. So it was a situation where I had to let him know I was repentant. And then let me tell you what happened after. Like, because it's like a long time ago now, many years, I was just like, the ease with which this, my friend, was now within like months. I'm saying like within 3 to 6 months. The mentor will just call, maybe we're together or something, we'll just call him, be like, hey, can you call? I have somebody that wants to deposit some money. They'll bring the check for you. Can you call? Can you call? So when I hear that, I'm like, okay, maybe it's like, 5M, 10M, all of that. You just see check, wow, 120M, 210. I'm like, hello. So all these figures were already doing my brain like this, bah, bah, bah. So I was coming out of the whole thing like this. That's how the first project landed, guys. The first project landed. Hey, I was like, bring it on. And oh my days, guys. When that contract landed, the first one, the interesting thing was my relationship with greed. And this is what I was trying to teach us in the last Reinventing Yourself series. My relationship with greed had not yet, it wasn't refined. So there were elements of me that wanted to take advantage of the fact that I had been given parts of the contract to execute, but then I still wanted to chop and go. I'll explain what the chop and go means. This is when you have been given an opportunity by a vertical relationship to carry out on their behalf. And then you now look for ways to make money from it in a way that you shouldn't. Don't worry, you know me, I'll tell you as it is. I believe that we all make mistakes, but we all have to learn. We all have to learn. There is a time and a place for you to begin to optimize and maximize a relationship that is vertical. It is not in the beginning. In the beginning, you are still acquainting yourself with this mentor, with this relationship. You cannot allow yourself to be greedy in the beginning. You've not even allowed trust to enter. You've not even gained a level of confidence from this person. You already want to learn how to make money from the person. Let me tell you something. There is something called the law of attraction. If your greed level, if your relationship with greed is not sorted out very fast, you will get into opportunities that should make you rich in a way that is upright. But because of your greed, because you want more than the profit, you want to quickly add 10% when you were supposed to get maybe 5%. Let me tell you something. That opportunity will, if you get that opportunity and you make it, right, the next one will not come through. Because money and greed, they work together, but the end is destruction. It is destruction. Maybe for some of you, you have somebody that is like, maybe let me do a good example here. Maybe in your church, right? For those of you who go to church, in your church, they say, oh, we need to make POP and new decoration, and you are a construction worker, right? You're a construction worker, you just started. So you went to your pastor, you're like, pastor, don't worry. This is my field now. This is what I do and all of that. Pastor says, oh, wonderful, wonderful. Bring a quote. On this quote, instead of you to leave it as minimum percentage, you are still learning. Let money trust you. It's not just people. I don't understand why you want to jeopardize something that could be a long-term contract for small, short-term gain. I've learned this thing is why I can teach it to. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. You will lose opportunities because you were greedy. That is what is going to happen. You may take that one, no, that one that you added that extra 10%, you will smile when the money drops. After a while, you will just see that nobody is calling you. Because integrity also has a voice. Sometimes you don't know that the people you are trying to swindle have prayed in their closet that the person that will swindle me, I will not find them. They will not find me. So you are wondering why you sent a quote. That quotation, they did not put any approval. For 3 months, you have sent that approval because you were biting more than you could chew. You don't get. Let money trust you that this one, She can now be trusted. He can now be trusted. So that first one, the contract was about 200 and give or take 50 million, right? And that's, I don't know how much that is in dollars. Someone please help me calculate that in dollars, the equivalent. So obviously you can imagine my body was shaking everywhere like, hey, money don't land. Money don't land. My life don't better. Let me tell you, the money that will make you rich and make your life better is not the one that you swindled other people for. It will last, but for a short while. You can't build long-lasting wealth on money you swindled people from. Ask the Yahoo people. Ask Yahoo boys. They will tell you. It is very difficult to think that you will get away with it and build something everlasting. You're a joker. Then you don't understand the principles and the laws of this life. So I did my work. Oh, please don't get me wrong. For the whole thing, for everything I was supposed to bring to the table, I did over and beyond. In fact, I gained my way back into his mentor's heart. And, the guy was like, Olori, you did really good. Now, let me say something. Because I also noticed that Christians don't know when to apply the profit margin. They don't even know how to do it. Maybe when it's a church, maybe when it's like, their pastor, a vertical relationship, maybe someone they admire in church. They are always like, how do I apply profit? Do I take money? Do I not take money? So there's always this like battle of how do I do it? Let me help you. Let me say this to you. Don't eat your seed. You hear me? Do not eat your seed. If you know that that money that you are going to charge the person will not change your life, but the access you will gain from that person, the favor, the association, the favor by association you will get from that person, quickly tell the person, don't worry, I will do this one. It's on the house. And let your spirit tell you when the time is right to let that person be charged. Because that can happen. It's not everything you must do for free. But when the time comes, you will know. If you have a doubt in your heart, maybe you are in a situation where you are like, should I charge this man? Should I charge this company? I'm not sure. Then don't. I say that I'd rather let God see the state of my heart when I was making the decision in an ignorant way than think that I am wise and make a foolish decision. The mercy of God will speak for you. If you lose money in that deal, God will raise up another opportunity. Don't have a this is we die here mentality over a short-term gain from a relationship that could give you a lifetime access. You will miss it. Don't let the poverty mentality push you into desperation that you want to quickly gain now. Everything because you have bills, because you want to pay for this, you want to pay for that. Then you allow everything in the future to be jeopardized. Why? Why? So I won my way back by adding value. Thank you very much. Estimated about $400,000 to $500,000. Now, the interesting thing about it is I don't even have 1 naira from that money now. So you can imagine what I did. I don't even remember what I did with the money because you won't. If the money was something that you were supposed to have sown as a seed of your service, of your gratitude, of your next level, of your positioning, of your open door, of your new level, you will remain where you are because you ate the seed. You ate it. You ate it. And this is why I'm saying don't joke with your background. Your first reaction to money when it enters your account, are you giddy? Does your mood change like, hey, we've come. Oh. That's how you be doing moves. Move where you don't even understand. That's when you call your friend, babes, how far now? How far? What's happening? You'll be calling unnecessary people in your life. Your family that is abroad, that they are not disturbing you. You will call them to let them know, do they need money? Do they need you that you are earning naira? You'll be calling your family abroad. Hello, Jide, are you guys okay? Is everything fine? Just because of small pim in your account, just a pim. You've got to learn, you really have to caution yourself. And I'm saying this from many, many angles, guys. If you don't allow the self-control in the time where money appears in relationships, whether with your husband, whether with vertical relationships, whether with horizontal, whether with down, whatever, you will literally be misled. You will be misled. So that man opened several doors for us, many, 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 many other times, many other times. And that was when I knew that there are relationships that are for a certain cycle in your life and a certain circle in your life. We've started, though. When you are looking at the law of relationships, you have to understand it from the angle of your success in life. I'll say it again. In order for you to understand the power of relationships, you must be able to tie it to your good success in life. If you are not able to, you would think every relationship is necessary. You would think every relationship is for every season and for every cycle. You will mismanage the circles that you are in now, thinking that all circles are for you to treat anyhow. And I'm going to try my best to break down the cycles and the circles. Cycles and circles. If you are in a stage of your life now where you need help, please stop looking for just job. Look for relationships. If you are in a season where you want to take your business from A to B as per next level, please leave too much of a strategy. Look for good relationships. If you are in a season of singleness and you know that your time is now for your husband or your wife, please try to invest in relationships. If you don't know what to invest in now, if you don't want to do crypto, you don't want to do EFTs, you don't want to do whatever T, you don't want to do bonds, can you invest in relationship? Because your success in life, I will say it again, if the right people don't know you, you are not going far. Ha, cha, 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 cha. If the right people do not know you are in this world, nobody can help you. You know why? We live in a wicked world. We live in a wicked world. People are going about their own business, looking out for their own interest. Why should anybody care about you? Who are you? Who are you? It is very childish to think that because you called somebody your mentor, they are obliged or in any way compelled to help you. In this, what are you saying? Not even in this season in certain parts of Africa, where everybody's eye is red. That's when you think you are entitled to a particular relationship. You are joking. You are joking. Right now, we are in an external cycle of hardship in many countries. If you want to be real, externally speaking, many countries are suffering. There's a lot of hardship. Hardship. Meaning this, let me tell you what it means. It means that there are going to be more people hoarding what they have. There are going to be more people hoarding what they have. Nobody is going to want to give you anything. Or there is also the circle that are looking for opportunities. Those ones are the desperados. They are looking for every and any means to make it. They are the ones that, what they were not doing before, they are willing to do it because they need to get something to survive. They are in survival mode. But can I say this to you? that in these same circles, there are some people that are still benefiting from what they signed with some people from 1 year, 2 years ago, because that thing is continuously paying them. The power of relationships. Hey, God. Oh. Sometime last year, no, 2020, there was a contract that came my way by reason of relationship. I had a relationship with an organization that needed bulk of certain things. And they called me. When they called me, they told me, they gave me the outline. They're like, Olori, we think you are the one that can help us, all of that. When I did my calculation, which is another thing I should tell you now, stop calculating money that you have not earned or is in your bank account or you've given them service. Let me explain what I'm trying to say. Those of you that are always quick to work out your profit on a deal, in the sense that they just came with inquiry. All they've come with is, can you do this? Right? You're already like, if I let me quickly put $1,000, £1,000, I will make more money. You are missing it. When that company did the request, they sent me the PO and all of that. The whole sum came to about 400 million plus, right? This was in the middle of COVID. No, like we were not going out, not even out to the compound. It was like at the height of COVID. Only essential goods were being, transported and all. And I was running an operation that allowed for me to go out or, whatever, because I was supplying essential goods. So I will never forget. I even called my pastor. You know that one that you have to call your pastor because your faith is not, you're like, hey, I've never, and this is why I said deal with this mindset thing. Because I was like, 400, hey, God. I started thinking of my profit. I was like, if I do this, if I do that. That is the problem when you don't have a good relationship with this greed thing. It's this thing. Even pastor is relationship, exactly. Hey, Omatola, right? So I didn't get that contract, by the way, and I'm not surprised today. Now that I know what I know about how money works, about how opportunities come and where they are, I know that I couldn't have gotten it. One, I didn't even service the person that gave me. I didn't talk the language the person wanted to hear. I hope to break this down. Holy Spirit, help me to do it well, very well. By the time you really look at what is necessary in your life, a relationship can sort it out. You need a house? You need a car? One relationship can sort you out. One contract will change your destiny, not your life. You know your life, yeah. One, just one. I pray that by the end of this session, you will know the people you need to latch onto with your dear life and those you need to let go of very quickly because they are wasting the space of your destiny helpers in your life. I'm going to move on to the very first part you need to learn how to do, relationship mapping, and that's the cycles and circles. In every society, there are people that make things happen and there are people that watch things happen. There are people that are calling the shots as to the price of the fuel you and I are buying today. There are people that say, you know what, let's stop the importation of this. Rice, no more importation. Let's leave it. There are certain people that are saying right now that by June of this coming year, cocoa should be a certain price. Cocoa. There are certain people that are calling the shots of the things that you and I want to enjoy. My question is, where are they? Where are they, guys? The ones for you. I want you to think this through. They are somewhere. They are human beings like you and I. They are determining what happens to the things that happen daily, how we work, how we live, how we move, what we buy, what we have access to. They are there. Until recently, when I was invited to a dinner last week, you know, when you enter some powerful tables and you are sat down and you are looking at the people at the table and you hear things like, no, double the price. People go buy them. I'm just like, hello. This, like, they are talking about things that you and I need, and they are the ones that are the majority, whether shareholders, stakeholders, monopolies, and all of that. And they are saying, double lamb, they will buy it. And then when they invite you now, they invite you to this kind of dinner. That's when you carry your phone in the meeting and you'll be pressing the phone. When you should be asking this man that is saying, let's double the price, and say, sir, tell me what you think. I was thinking the same thing. Not that I agree, but I was also thinking about it. Understanding how to have conversations when you enter the seat where they make all these arrangements and decisions and all of that, the seat of power. Relationship mapping is not just you saying, I want to enter this circle. You want to enter that circle. Maybe you are in the media space, or maybe you are in fashion, or maybe you are in IT, fintech, all of those fantastic industries. It's not about you mapping their names down. Let me tell you the first thing you need to deal with. You need to ensure that you walk your way into being the kind of person that can have a global conversation. Global conversations require intellect, smart, wise people. You need both wisdom and street smart. Let me tell you the interesting thing. I would even lean towards the wisdom part more, so that you don't say the wrong thing at the right time or the right thing at the wrong time. The people that are in that sort of 1%, if you want to call it that, for lack of a better word, right? Because I don't even think there's a 1%. I think there's like now a 5%, which has grown beyond the Western world and now is very commonplace amongst Africans. So Africans themselves have now developed like this sort of like, you can't sit with us, we rule, we reign the affairs of men, that kind of mindset where they just want to believe that, now we dey here, now we dey rule them. And you know what? Like I said, in every society, you have it. Russia, in everywhere, it's there, right? But do you know that you get to a certain level of growth and rising? Please hear me, rising. That those people begin to notice you. That was how I was invited. I wasn't invited because I knew somebody that knew somebody. They told me categorically, we see what you are doing. But you think that they see you in the way you think. They saw you in the spirit. Hey, God, help me today. I'll become teaching this. They didn't see your posts on social media, one, because they don't go there. People like that don't go there. It's the masses, everybody, we that are on that thing. See the 1%, they have what I call informants. It is those informants that are on those things. I'm giving you something today, where you people, please don't draw blood. Don't draw, because I feel like some people are drawing these things out, and I want to be very sensitive. Some of you have brain capital. You don't have relationship capital. You don't have it. The things you want to enjoy, the things you want access to, the money, the dollars, the $5 million, the $10 million. Let me tell you something. One check, it is there on your table. I once heard of a guy Not that they told me his story. I was in the meeting that he said this. This guy said every Monday morning, banks come to him to release funds into their system every single Monday morning. How much money does this kind of person have? Hey. Can you see that it's not balanced? Can you really see now why you have to be intentional about what you are doing? You can't attend a course and attend the course because you just want to attend the course. I don't understand. How is that course moving you along further? If you're going to go to a business school, please go to a business school where Sabi. Go to a business school that you know that you'll be meeting the son of the third richest man in Peru. Like you know. This is not about I like this person so I do their course. Can we stop it? Can we stop it? Emotionalism has entered even the way we educate ourselves. So because the person, you love the way they teach, so you want to now tabernacle there. For me, I say to people, my joy is that you go out and learn the rules of the game. I don't know it all. Trust me, I'm still learning. I don't. How can one man be bankrolling banks? They go to his office, he's here in Banana. See, hey, just be looking. Okay? Relationship mapping. I will not be distracted tonight. The cycles. How do you map, Olori? Olori, how do I map? Okay, help me with my map. You need to identify where you are first. You cannot make a map if you don't understand where you are. Where are you? Are you in your, first of all, awareness stage where you realize that, the things I need to do, the things I want to enjoy, oh, I'm still in a stage where I want to settle down. Maybe you don't yet have a family, so you're trying to settle down. You're just really trying to settle yourself in many areas. Are you in a spiritual discovery? Are you on a spiritual journey of discovery? Are you in an intimate stage where it's like just you and God? You're not really working, you're not exposing yourself to people, you're just really in like a lot of incubation. Are you in a stage where you're in transition, right? So you've just left a job, you're trying to start a business, or you've stopped doing your business and you are transiting to another country, right? You want to go further your education. You need to know where you are. If you are in your season of appearing, let me talk to those who are in their season of appearing. You know what I mean by your season of appearing. It means that things are coming together for you now. You now start to feel a sense of peace regarding the things that you've been promised, that you've seen God promise you. Prophecies have come. You've enjoyed vast words of wisdom, words of knowledge. Things have come and it's come in truckloads to the point where you were thinking they were never going to happen. But right before your eyes, things are beginning to pick up. So, if you are in your season of appearing, you must begin to take note of who you associate with. Please don't get it twisted. The people have been waiting for the manifestation of you. You must understand that that's how they know you are coming out. They don't need to be told, just like the wise men did not need to be told that Jesus was being born. They knew because there were certain signs and triggers in the spirit that had moved. You have shifted. So as you have shifted, your position in the spirit too shifted. So now you are drawing the attraction of both good and evil. Hear me well. You are getting the attention of both good and evil, which means that whenever you make a move, just know that you are being watched, both good and evil. But guess what? You must ensure as you are rising that your covering is intact. This is not the time to be without covering if you are in your season of appearing. You must begin to understand your covering, service the altars, maintain the relationships, enter it fully. Enter it fully. As you are appearing and they are seeing you rise, two people will come to you at every point in time: the tempter and the successor. Some of you are going to be introduced to the people you're going to be taking over from in an industry. In your season of appearing, that's normal. You will come into contact. It may not be close for some of you, but you would now be in their sphere of circle. I won't call it influence yet. You may not have entered the influence part. You are just in the circle where people know them, you know them, and all of that, right? And you have to be very careful. That's why I said don't treat that kind of circle as if it is an ordinary one. The circle that will lead you to the rising and keep you rising, those ones you ensure you pay maximum attention. And I'll tell you in the relationship management part of how to do that. Because they are simple things, but people don't even understand it. Now, in that season of appearing, if you are there, when the tempter comes to you, there are two things he wants to do. One, destroy what you've built. All the waiting, all the becoming that you've been doing, praying, servicing, incubating, he will come with something that looks good. It will look like the real thing, but it's not the real thing. Don't fall for it. Please don't enter into it. Don't enter into that plot of the enemy. Ask Jesus when he came out after 40 days in the wilderness. You have just come out of your wilderness season. Can you not see that you must follow pattern when rising? Follow pattern when rising. If things are coming together for you now, the Lord has given you power, authority more than you could ever imagine. You are calling things and they are coming to being. You are praying for 30 minutes. Things are shifting. Unlike before where you pray 3 hours, your lungs will be giving space, giving way. But Jesus now has given you more authority because we grow in power. We grow in authority. You grow in all of them. Don't let the enemy come and take from you what you have been. What you go get, say? So, the circles should be determined by your seasons, not just your interest. If you are wondering why some people are falling away or why you no longer have interest in some people, it's because your season has changed. You don't owe anybody an explanation if they cannot understand that there is seasons for everything. And the balance between those of you that you allow yourself to be so emotionalism again, everything for you is emotional. Why did they leave me? Why didn't they tell me why they left? Let me tell you something. I'm the kind of person that I believe strongly, if you will part away from a relationship, give them closure. Give them closure. In the case where you can't give closure because maybe you guys had a fallout or whatever, no problem. But please be good and kind. It will catch up with you later. It will catch up with you later. Don't leave any relationship sour. As much as you can help it, don't do it. When you shift seasons, if the people that you were in season 1 with, if they also grow, you wouldn't need to fall away from them. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. If they grow with you and you grow, not like you guys are growing in the same pathways. What I'm saying is that they just grow, right? You won't need to let go of them because they are growing. You two are growing. Everybody's growing. But when you start sensing friction and all of that, like, these people are drawing me back, or this person is no longer good for me, I'm really sorry if that person is your spouse because you can't really go anywhere. What you're going to have to do is be intentional for your spouse. Be intentional about their development. Sign them up for courses. Pray about it that, Lord, as I do these things, and I'm telling you things that I have done before. After my prayers at certain times of the night, if I'm in my house and I'm with my husband, I'm going to lay hands on my husband and say, Father, I thank you because my husband's growth paths are opening up. His mind is opening up to more. He is not complacent. He is not allowing himself. You literally have to do that for your spouse. If you're a husband and you're tired of the way your wife behaves, you are allowed to do that. My children, I do it for them because I don't want slow children. I don't want children that, they draw like okra. I don't want. And these things are important, guys. You need to know who is important to have. There is a season in my life I came into where my husband was the most important person I needed to have. And you know why that was? Because I needed to push through that season. And he was the only one that could give me that covering. Nobody else could do it. There was a season in my life where I had a group of, young ladies, and we were praying together. We were doing certain things together. There was a lot of togetherness in that season. And I know when that season ended, I knew it. But the interesting thing is this: try as much as possible not to be emotional about your circles and your cycles. You can't use anybody because you were good to them when you were good to them. Hello. And this is why relationship management system is important. If you were good to people while you were in a relationship with them, when you leave them, they won't say you were bad. Am I communicating, guys? Can you see what I'm trying to say? So it's not about, oh, this person's a bad person. She no longer talks to me. If you shift away, they will understand that you've moved on. You've moved on. No harm feelings, no feelings. Yeah, we keep it moving. Especially if they know that it was an assignment. If they know that it was an assignment, they won't rob you of your own growth because they want you to stay. No. Right? Now, the interesting thing about it is this. After you discover who is important to have, this question I'm about to have you write down, you must identify who you are important to. Who are you important to? This thing I'm saying, who you are important to is critical. Oh God. Who you are important to is very, very important, because those are the people that will be on your matter night and day. I repeat, night and day. They will see opportunity, they will call you. They will see the ways that you can grow, they will call you. They will see a contract, you will be the top of mind. Who are you important to? It can't just be your mommy and your daddy. Your mommy and your daddy, they don't know anybody. They don't know anybody. Stop being sentimental. Right? If you are from a privileged home, please, the next few things I want to say, please just listen with love, because it's for us that came from Agberu background. You know Agberu? I am very proud of my background. Somebody asked me a very funny question yesterday, one of my clients, and he said, Olori, which secondary school did you go to? I laughed for like 30 seconds. I was laughing because where do I tell him that I was born and bred in London? How I ended up in Mushi and Oshodi and St. Antonio Grammar School, I don't know. But that was the way God willed my own life. And he said, let her go and taste a bit of that. Because where I'm taking her, she's going to know that it was by the mercies of God and the hand of God that she came out of a ditch like that. Yes, some things had to be in my life so that I can appreciate where I am today. That was the purpose of my crying and wailing this evening. I was just so thankful. I just started to look at where I am. I said, me. How did I get here? How did I get here? Where my bank balance does not look like where I'm coming from. Where my life is worthy of people's prayer time. Oh, you didn't catch it. The problem is you think that what I'm telling you here is to be cunning. I'm not telling you to pick who you want to be friends with. I'm saying, can you be important enough that people will dedicate their life and begin to pray for you in their closet? They will put their name in their diary. They will put your name in their phone and be interceding on your behalf. You have to stop this life where you are the only one, on special days. When it's time for your graduation, you are the only one that went for your own graduation. You are the only one that will go for your own birthday. Birthday dinner, you cannot do because you don't have friends. Nobody is wishing you happy birthday. Nobody is celebrating you on Instagram. And let me tell you something, if they tell you these things don't matter, it's a lie from the pit of hell, because there's such a thing as social capital. Social capital are how the rich talk. It's how the rich talk. If you're not important, who are you? Who are you? Is that not why they do it in Africa? They say, whose child are you? Whose daughter are you? Because it matters. If it didn't matter, they won't ask you those stupid questions. But I know who I belong to. I know the God that brought me out. My own name may not resound in the natural, but I promise you the God that I serve, the daughter of who I am. Omile. Forget. Forget. I know whose I am. But I also act according to how the world expects a certain level of friendliness. Some of you are not friendly. You are not friendly. You will stay in a room the whole month. You won't visit anybody. You won't go and greet. You won't even, what is that? You are the only one praying for yourself. Nobody is sitting on your matter. Lekopa at 12 midnight, at 3 a.m. in the morning. Who is calling your name into the atmosphere? Who is calling your name? If you think, for those of you that are rising and your appearing is coming out, do not neglect anybody that suffered with you when you were small. You hear me? Because men are like water. Omi leyon. If you try yourself in the days when you are appearing and you think that you don't need people where you are going, you have been mistaken. You want to use money to buy everything. Money to buy everything. You want to start a business. You will go online, be looking at people. Who can I beg from today? Those of you that enter my DM, you see now I give it back to you. The first question I ask them is, who is your pastor? Because to me, it's a pastoral care issue where you are going around begging for bread. Because I can't say who is your God. Because if I ask that, I have the answer. Because it's not my own God. My own God does not have children that beg for bread. They don't beg for bread. No. Stop it. Right? If you think you need money for your business, and here is the joke, some of you that need like maybe 5 million, 2 million, or whatever for your business, you think that money is the only way to pay for that business idea. You have missed the boss that says that relationship is currency, and you can pay with that relationship for what you want. You can. Relationship is like a debit card. Relationship is like a debit card. Spend it, withdraw. You can't keep waiting for one money to enter, one money to come through, one cousin to send money, one husband to give you a quick overdraft, or one bank to say yes to your approval. You ain't got time, baby. You don't have time. Use relationships. Please use relationships. The pastors that say they literally are over you, they are every Sunday or every day. These pastors or these leaders in your church, they are praying over you, praying about your matter. When you call them, they will pick your call, they will respond to you, they will pray over you. All of that, they've opened doors for you. How many times have you honored them? The law of seed time and harvest is not going to care whether or not that was your last 500 naira. If it was your last 500 naira, did you buy bread from the roadside Take the two, buy 200 so that it's two. So it's not looking like one and it's not all that. Did you buy the two bread and take it to that pastor's house and say, Pastor Lola, this bread I give you, it is all I have. But I wanted to say thank you for the labor of love that you have done over me and my family and the things I've been going through for the last few years. Some of you are just taking. Continue taking. Don't worry, it will soon be empty. Empty. Don't worry, I'm ready today. I don't tell you, say, we'll take our time. You understand? If you don't understand what relationships can do for you, then you abuse them. Yes, you abuse them. Because relationship is currency. There are many things in my life that open for me because of relationships. I'm starting a gigantic project. And interestingly, it was just one like a month ago. Now it's like two. And I said to God, I entered a covenant with God. I said, Father, I want this project to be my first no cash down project. And you know what God said? Approved. Approved. And then he started to teach me. He said, I have given you the keys in relationships. As he said it, I said, thank you, God. He said, now begin to unlock the door. With each relationship, unlock the door. You don't need money. You need another currency because money is currency. You need another one. The things that you are allowing to happen to you, it's your problem. It is your fault. Some of you, is only when you want to ask for something, you message the vertical relationship people. Oh, hi, hello, ma. How are you, ma? Just checking to see how you are, ma. Yes, ma. Ma, I was just wondering if you have anybody in oil and gas that can, maybe help me with. You are not. What is that? What are you doing? I have one lovely girl. She goes by the name Tolu. Tolu is the only person in my life this year. This year, I don't know about another year. When it comes to my sort of downward vertical relationship, who her accuracy in checking on me is too much. And you know what happened? Let me help you. She will check on my children. She will check on me. She will give me accurate word. There are some people that their word is missing road. You know road? You know the I saw crew. There's an I saw crew that everything they want to tell you is prophecy, what the Lord is saying. They don't even want to know if in your life, whether it resonates or it doesn't resonate. They just want to say, I see a bridge. And that bridge, you were on the bridge. Hello, I saw crew. Calm down, no. Calm down. Because in relationships, you also have to know when and how. When and how. Be sure that you are not just accurate in the word, but in the timing of your word. Hello. I'm not angry, y'all. I'm good, right? Let me drink water. So many opportunities that have left your life is because you did not service or manage the relationship you were given. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. I'll give you another example. I came full today. There's a certain lady, and she I met her sometime last year. And this lady, in fact, I've had two people make this mistake, and it's so funny to me. This lady, she approached me that she wanted to work with me, right? She was like, oh, she wants to work with me, and all of that. And I was like, okay, what do you bring to the table? And she was, reeling out all the good stuff and all. And I'm used to it because I get people in my DM, oh, can I do this? Can I do that for you? Can I help you do this? Can I always, it's like a constant now. And that happens because of many things, but not for today. So at some point, I started to speak to my HR person. I was like, let's try and see if we can find a position for this person and all of that. So we considered the person for a particular role and did all the, usual recruitment process and all of that. So we now got to the point of, now, please bear in mind, though, this person came to me. That's number one. Number two was that They wanted to work with me, which meant that they would be in my circle. They would be in a lot of the things I'm doing, because it meant that, we'll be in each other's, business and all of that. And then we got to the money part. Because when she came to me, she was like, "Oh, Lori, I love you so much. You inspire me. You know, all the usual, you are the gift that keeps on giving. You are the this, you are the that, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, I didn't say anything. That's how we now got to the money part. As per, okay, compensation, what do you want? And like I said, two people have made this mistake before. Now, just imagine, guys, the person you want, the person you really admire, now opens up their treasure chest to you and says, "Oh, what are you looking at for compensation and all of that?" You now call a figure, right? You call a figure, and the person says, no, that they don't have this kind of money. And then you now insist on the figure, right? And, but you came to them, right? And it just dawned on me that last year that anytime you are given an opportunity by your vertical relationship and they ask you about payment, I talked about it in the beginning. If your goal is not to associate yourself with this person for the long haul, you are going to miss that opportunity. For both people, I told my HR person, I said, "No, I'm not taking this kind of person." So you want to put a price on your access to me. That's what it means. How can you put a price on access you didn't have? I don't understand. Hey, God, help me. Ha. So I realized, I said, these people still have a lot to learn. You still have a lot to learn. Because if you come to somebody and you want an opportunity, they give you the opportunity and just maybe out of like, okay, how much do you want to earn? You now start calling one price. No problem now. So in my opinion, that means you didn't really want the opportunity. You didn't want the access. You wanted the money. Isn't it? Like, isn't that what this is? And this is why I said you have to help yourself not fall into these traps with relationships, because some of you have cut yourself off and lost opportunities. You've closed doors against yourself because you did not know how to handle opportunities that came from a vertical relationship. I've said this before, I'll say it again. If you are looking for a job for 5 years, it's because you're an unfriendly person. It's because you don't know how to manage relationships. If you are out of work for more than 6 months, it's because you don't know people. And if you don't know people, you will be bankrupt of more than just money. Even honor, you won't have. Honor, you won't have it. For those of you that are abroad, in the country you are in, which circles must you start circling? Which ones must you start circling? There are some circles that if you want to be a mover, a shaker in that country, you have to be in it. You just have to be in it. All right? And this is why I want you to be careful of not allowing yourself to slave over what a relationship could have easily done for you. Because there is what we call cycles. If you can eat humble pie for a little bit, just eat that humble pie every day. Your cycle will soon change, such that that person that maybe you felt like they were treating you badly, they were not giving you opportunity or whatever it is, you felt like you slaved your life away for them for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you are waiting and waiting for your own turn. Life is in phases. Don't let the enemy cheat you out of your moment of victory, your time of appearing, because you missed it by just one more month. Some of you have left opportunities that you were supposed to serve. You were supposed to serve, but your ego got the best of you. You looked for every excuse to make it look like that opportunity did not work for you. It's a lie. You are the one that did not work the opportunity. You didn't work it. Meanwhile, what it was supposed to do was to build you from the inside. It was supposed to give you a new way of thinking, a new layer of thick skin. Thick skin. But you didn't allow it. You short circuit, you cut short that season of your life where you should have been learning. And guess what? You will go back. God, God does not over all those prayer. Oh Lord, break protocol for me, for my sake, for my family. Break protocol. Listen, in the learning and in the systems of growth, God does not do that one. Ask Jesus. Couldn't God break protocol for Jesus? Did he break it? Don't pray foolish prayers, oh, and think that the favor of God will come upon your foolishness. It does not work like that. It's the mercy of God that can do that one for you. The favor of God comes upon disciplined sons and daughters, because favor does not mean that you will get what you don't deserve. Stop saying that. That is not the totality of God's favor. When you say that, you are boxing the favor of God into things that you only don't deserve. No. No. Another thing I want to say about relationship mapping. I remember when I was a young girl, and I'm still a young girl. I don't even know why I said that, but you get what I'm saying, guys. My dad taught me a lot about relationships. A lot about relationships. God, I've been wanting to call him all day, and I'm still going to call him after this just to say thank you, Daddy. My dad is the world's biggest giver that I know. Nobody that I know. I don't know, obviously, because he's my dad, right? So I know exactly what the guy gives. My dad can beg people, to give people. He will say, "Jọ̀ọ́ fún mi ní owó ńbẹ̀ yẹn, mo fẹ́ sáré fún." And I'm like, guy, you said no get, and you want to give somebody else. You say, "Don't worry, let me just give this person." And I'll never forget, like when I was in my 20s, my mid 20s, I used to be so angry with my dad because that's why I said ignorance will make you think you're on the right side of the coin of your growth, right? Because I used to get upset with my dad. I used to be so upset with him. Like, why are you giving people money? This family member will call. My dad will send the money. He knows that they are ripping him off. They are literally ripping him off. They'll say they want to buy a laptop for school. Nah, lie. They'll say they want to pay for school fees. Nah, lie. They will go and forge certificates. My dad will still be sending money to these people. One day, I asked him 2 questions. I said, why do you keep wasting your money? He said, if you see his reaction that day, he was like, waste. He said, I am investing in your future. I was like, by giving other people money, that's what I don't understand. He said, because there will come a time in your life where you will need people, you will need the gift of men. And if you don't sow the seeds now, you can never reap it. Hear me well. The gift of men does not come to people who are self-centered. They use people for their own. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. And you have to be real. We are living in a life that you have to orderly put your life in order. Some of you have children. You have children. You have not sown these seeds. How do you want people to help your children at the right time? I know my children can never lack help. You know why? I intentionally help people. There are some people in my house, I don't need them to do the jobs they do in my house. My gardener, I don't need him, but I'm just helping him. I want to help him. I don't need him. Another person that I have, I don't need her, but I need to keep people employed, praying for me, praying for my children, such that when they are on the altar, looking at my sacrifice, saying, what has she given? Who has she given? Has she given widows? Has she given the poor? Has she given people who are sick? What has she given? They will find my sacrifice burning on the altar. I didn't say just sacrifice. They will find it burning. Sweet incense go they come from there. I did an event in Alausa in Ikeja, Lagos. When was this? On Tuesday. There was one Baba. This Baba, he was just carrying the chairs, doing all these kinds of things. I felt so bad for the guy. My heart was already blessing him because I figured this man could have me as his daughter. And I told him, I said, I will see you after the event. So I told my staff, I said, collect his account number, which he only sent to me today. So if you're watching, well done. No. Because now the Baba would think that I just collected his his account number, you know? And my heart went out to that man because I was just like, where are the relationships this man should have sown to ensure he didn't land here? Working a job that he has no business working in at his age. Where are the relationships this Baba could have sown when he was 30, 20, that would have secured his 60s and 70s? Holy Ghost. This is deeper than you want to succeed. This is that I want to live a very full life. Every time I come to Lagos or I leave and go to another country, there are men waiting to help me. Men of heavy stature waiting to help me. I was in Warri over the weekend. Before I left, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I called one lady. I've never met her before. She just always likes my pictures. She got into our network. We started talking. She leads one of the groups and all of that. And you know what? My heart blesses her again right now. All I asked this lady was very simple, because the people who were supposed to help me sort one or two things out in Warri didn't, the way they were going about it. I was like, you know what, let me find someone who lives there. And I remember that, this lady lives there. Let her just help me find out one or two hotels in this region. Mistake. Please, somebody say mistake, but good mistake. That night, she said to me, she was like, because I sent a voice note. She sent me a reply back. She was like, I will do anything. Tell me what you need. You know, this, that, and that. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you. That all I need is just to search for the hotel. I just need to know because I don't live there, so I don't know. She's like, no problem. She'll do it tomorrow. She'll get on it. She'll give me feedback. All of that, all of that. Next minute, she sends me a message. She's like, Olori, please, I'm just doing my latest collection. Please, I want you to wear one of my outfits, for the dinner, because I went for my best friend's birthday, and it was so weird because I was just like, no, this was not what I wanted, though. I just needed hotel recommendation. Guys, that's how she sent me the collection. Beautiful clothing. I was like, wow, hey, God. As in, I was just thanking. I was like, thank you. The next day, she starts to call me. She's like, Olori, I found some places, but they're not your standard. This. I'm looking for the best. I say, hey, even me, we send message. I just, they look, say, thank you, sister. Thank you. By the end of the day, she had booked a place. She's like, everything is sorted. Please let me know when you're coming in. I'll come and pick you from the airport. I'm going to be your driver for the whole time you are there. I say, it's not necessary. My friend will ensure that I'm picked up and all of that. She's like, no, please, all of that. By like some 5 days after that she had made the booking, she said, Olori, just to let you know that I've paid for the hotel. I said, wait. At that point, I had to say, you are provoking a blessing. You are what? Provoking a blessing. Some of you are with your vertical relationship. You, Father, help my folly. Help my ignorance, oh Lord. Because the truth about that's the only thing I can boil this down to. Some of you will be with your boss or your mentor. Let me not say boss, because boss is professional. You'll be with your mentor or like a sponsor, or even maybe like somebody that you really admire, right? Like your parents. You order food though. You order food. Your sponsor to order food, they will bring the bill. You will let them pay. Let me say this to you. It's not about cultural. I've told you and I'll say it again and again. Where you are going is far. That 3,000 or 10,000 naira that you want to eat is too costly. It's too costly. Ah, ah, I don't even know. The things I have seen in this my little life, I'm always just like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know. Me, you know me, I will not talk. If I'm in those instances, I just let it go. I said, this person has not yet understood. And it's okay because it's all the rules. Is it every rule that everybody knows? No, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's the truth, right? But I look at it and I'm like, this lady, she called, she paid for my hotel. By the time I landed in Warri, she had been calling me, but my number, it doesn't work in Warri. She had been calling me, and all of that. I eventually got through to her, just saying thank you and all of that. She said, that she's ready to come to where I am, or that she's been dressed since morning, you know? So she eventually came to meet me where I was, and she was even more thankful than I was thankful. And I was wondering, I said, now you do me favor now. I only wanted recommendation and you're doing me like this. As we were saying goodbye outside in the car park, that's how she raced to her car. I said, what's happening? She said, Olori, please, just 1 second. She brought 2 bags. I said, what's this? She said, Olori, please take. You've taught us. As she said that statement, the thing, it hits me, say, this one has understood. My I, the prayer that I prayed was not because of those things. It was because she has set herself free from a life of stupidity. Yes, stupidity does not appear like stupidity to the person. It appears like wisdom. That's the issue. It appears like wisdom. When I got to the hotel, eventually when the night passed and I was looking at what she see there are people that give you gift that that is recycled gift. They gave the person gave you that kind of nonsense. She oh no 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 no. She blew me away. She blew me away. The thing that can set you free is as little as honor. Honor. I told you guys who started the call with me. I told you about my friend, and I call her friend, even though she's younger than me. I don't care. She's younger than me, but she's a prophet, right? And we talked for 32 minutes. I remember because I recorded the call because she gave me the kind of word she gives. It scattered me in ways I can't even begin to tell you because it was so accurate. So accurate. And she said something. She said, Olori, one of the things that, because she's going through a phase of expansion and exponential growth. Exponential, there is growth because you can grow from 5 to 6, well, you can grow from 50 to 50, 5 to 50. Are you seeing the difference? There's a difference. She's growing from 5 to 50. I can see it. I can pick it. I'm not stupid. The issue, and please, guys, I'm still on relationship mapping. We're still going to relationship management. I'm coming. Please, because the mapping is important. If you can't map well, how do you manage what is not mapped well? You mismanage it. So please allow me to dwell a little bit longer. And also as I feel led, right? So she was saying to me, she said, Olori, that one of the reasons why she feels that God has helped our relationship is because I never looked at her because of her age, that I treated her with honor. And I wanted to reply her to say, the reason why I treated you with honor was because you grew according to pattern. You didn't grow according to your own wisdom. So I was attracted to that level of wisdom. This person knows that they need to grow in a way that is according to a pattern, not just I'm growing in the spirit. I see, I saw. I see, I saw is nothing. That's not your proof, the proof of growth. It's not the proof of growth. Anyway, so I told her, I said, the honor I give you is because you give it to me in secret. When you are mapping your relationship, please don't put people that you cannot honor them with your heart, but only your hand. I'll say it again. Don't bother with relationships that you cannot put your heart, but you want to just put your hand. It's not going to last. It may start, but it won't last. It won't last. If you cannot serve Allow them to serve you, because you know the joke about what people don't realize is that if you handle any relationship well, the way it ought to be, when you enter serving, eventually it turns around, they begin to serve you. Yes. Yes. Every single vertical relationship I enjoy today, whether professionally, spiritually, maritally, financially, it is because I served them with my heart, not my hand only. I did both. When they needed me, I'll be there. When they call for me, I'll be there. And I will not grumble in my heart. I will not say I feel used. For where? I'm paying my dues, baby. I'm paying my dues. Because I know relationship are keys. It's only a matter of time before they begin to open the door for me. Because you are not from a privileged home is why you should take relationships serious. Your mother doesn't know anybody. Your dad, you are not of them that can. You don't know that this world we're talking about, some people's children were born into existing corporate jobs. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. So in a company, their name is already on the board. They are not born. When they were now born, they put the name there, put the inheritance there, your own. Hey, hey. Look at your mom, look at your dad. Is it the way they are that you should think that you should play with relationships? Or you think your parents don't want to be more than they are? Your parents, and I'm going to move now to relationship management systems, guys. How to manage relationships, how to maintain it. Maintenance. Hey, maintenance. Critical. Critical. Once you get it going, you are in the circle. They are already, giving you work, giving you responsibility. You are not, your heart is one with them. You're not trying to shortchange them. You're not trying to cheat them. You're not trying to shine and make yourself look like you are the one. What, all those things? You have to know how to manage these relationships. Another reason why you need to learn how to manage these relationships is because you are coming from a poor background. The poverty seeps beyond money, it seeps into your thinking. So things that you think are right are actually very wrong. Very, very wrong. But you don't know because you were born into it. So that poverty seeps into your thinking and makes you think is correct. Continue. Go on. You are doing great. Huh? I know some people. I was telling one of my staff like last week. Yes, last week. And I said I opened a door for somebody about 2 months ago. I collected names because there's a program AWE. I think some of you know it. I gave some of you that opportunity to apply, and I know that the way I am with that organization, they've given me the honor of being able to recommend people that I can say will benefit from the program because they only allow a certain number every year. They get almost 20,000 applications, almost that, and then they only take like 200 to 50 per year. So you need leg. And that program will change your life. Me, I know because any program, again, oh God, this topic is so deep, but I can only unpack it in the way I can. Those programs will help you enter some international doors when the time comes for you to make some negotiations. When you say that you are this, they will give you money because you have been on that program. Right? So I took names from people and all of that. I took the names and I submitted the names. I think out of 7 names or 6 names that I submitted, 5 people got in. One person's application was not found. And then the last person, I don't remember. And it didn't pain me, guys. I'm using this as an example because it just popped into my head. Your inability to say thank you in the proper way is why you have not been called back for many other opportunities. The worst thing you can, and this now is a personal thing, it's not like a rule. please, this is a personal thing for me. The worst thing you can do is that I do something for you and thank you does not come out of your mouth. Thank you, just thank you. I don't need more. That's all. Say thank you. You know why? It's more for you than for me. The thank you will let you know that somebody did something for me and I should be grateful. Somebody made something happen for me. I should be grateful. So it's not that the thank you is so that I will feel haughty or kilokomi. That doesn't matter to me. It's not going to change anything for me. I always tell people that you'll be shocked about the things that really, really matter. It is for that person. One day I bought a gift for somebody. And I know that I didn't have the money that day to buy that gift. And I bought the gift. But because the person is now familiar with me, the way the person did the thank you, I was just looking, I said, no problem. Shebi is because of familiarity. And that is number one under your relationship management system. Never forget the sacrifice you had to make to get into that access point. The access point that you were given must never be forgotten as to how you got it and who gave it to you. The Lord was helping me he was consoling me on the matter. And he said he's dealing with the person about it this evening. Because what happened was, I felt like the person didn't understand the gravity of what happened. And this is something that you all probably need to get acquainted with, which is sometimes you think you've gotten over something, then it comes back and then you realize that this thing is still simmering. You need to deal with it and let God help you, because otherwise it will stop a potentially amazing relationship from blossoming because you don't want to deal with whatever it is that's between you and the person, right? Anyway, I digress. So as the Lord was saying this thing to me, I realized that, Olori, due to your obedience on this person and this person, that is how these things were triggered. Oh. But the Lord said to me, He said that, do you know that your reward is not just in your obedience? Your reward is in the fact that what ought to be came to be because of your obedience. So the Lord was like, don't worry about like that trigger point and all of that. He said it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. And this is very critical because there's certain things that you are dealing with right now. You're upset about things that rightfully you have a right to be upset about, but you need to deal with them with God about that relationship. Because there are certain access points that were supposed to be given to you, but because you are still upset, you are not even allowing yourself to be in a relationship with the person. It can't work. Right? And I think somebody's drawing me back with that statement, is why I keep going back to it. Now, with relationship management system, I think the way I want you to picture it is you have relationship with your loved ones, like your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and those relationships need attention, they need time, and they need love. I'll say it again. Woo! Attention, time. Attention and time is not the same because you can give something your time but not your attention, right? And love. Love. Please, I don't believe that 5 love languages are the only languages that exist in love. For someone like me, I don't even think, is my love language in any of those 5? Maybe service. Maybe. Yeah, service is definitely one on that list. But beyond that, I don't think I really have any more. The things on my list are little things. So again, back to this Tolu girl, right? She's a superstar as far as I'm concerned. Tolu is the only person after a long day. She's probably noticed that I went out the whole day, or maybe I just finished an event and she was a part of that event. She's the only person, and when I say it only, I mean only, who will send me a message and say, thank you for showing me what is possible. She will now break down the different things that little thing. I will not be like, this girl. It's like she draws something out of me. Some people have put ATL. Hey, SASA. Hey, God, oh. Right? And the funny thing about it is, She draws out of me every time I'm praying, and I'm like really praying for my, spiritual sons and daughters and the ones that Lord has asked me to cover and all of that. She just draws it out because she's thinking about me. Her attention is on me. She is, and it's because her heart is right. I always say to people that if you are giving yourself false narratives about a relationship, but you have not yet confronted the issue, it is on you that you are thinking what you are thinking. It is not on the other person. If you have an issue, go and meet the person and say, I'm feeling this kind of way and I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And I just wanted us to talk about it because maybe there are some things that is happening that I'm not aware of. If relationships can be spiritual, can you then see that maybe certain things are going off and you are not aware and you need to address it? Address it. It's a way to maintain the relationship. Otherwise, both of you will fall away. Meanwhile, all you had to do was talk about it. Just talk about it. Right? So, in the relationship element, you have already identified quality destiny relationships and then destiny wasting relationships. Should I take that again? You've identified for you to manage relationship, because you have to manage the ones that are bad too. You have to do proper assessment. Quality destiny relationships versus destiny wasting relationships. You will manage the two, because they will always try and come. That guy you are trying to let go of, let me tell you something. He is also part of the equation. Your season of appearing cannot come without a tussle and a temptation. That is why he must deliver you from all evil every day. Because these things will come at every point to try and trip you up. You need to understand it. When you've identified the two, you now build structure. You treat this thing like exam. What are you talking about? There is no vertical relationship of mine that I don't gift. You know what gift does? Gift is like when the king gave Esther his ring. When someone gives you something that is precious, you know that this person gave you something that is worthwhile. Please don't give me things that you can afford. Now, I'm not saying me as in personal me. I'm just telling you like this is how it works. Give me something that I know you thought about. Give me something that I know this came from your heart. Again, this girl Tolu, let me tell you what she does. I don't be looking for Tolu so you can collect. It's a grace she has. That's why I said it is possible for you to be friends with somebody. You don't have what they have. You better ask God to help you to get that grace. And then you don't tap into it, you sow into it. We'll talk about that later. So she came to my house in Monrovia, right? And I'm using her as a good example because I had to tell her last week. I called her into my chambers. Let me make it sound like some Victorian times. I called her into my chambers and I said, "Come into my bosom and let us talk." Because I felt like I wanted to appreciate her for the things that she has done for me since 2019. She has taken up my matter as somebody that the Lord has given to me to help me in seasons that I have been, going through and all of that. She's there. She's constant. And I was just saying thank you to her and breaking some things down. And the funny thing about it was, when I called her in to talk to her, I realized that every time, and let me talk about the time when she came to my place, where I stay in the country I stay in. She came to help me with some things. And when she was leaving, you know what this girl did? She wrote a letter to every single person in my family. My 2 children, my husband, and myself. I was in awe because her words were not few. Her words, look, you have to know the access points. You need to know. It's not everything you are doing that is impressing your vertical relationships. It's not. You need to know what touches their button, What moves them? You need to know. There is no time she shows me that she's not grateful. There is no time. And there are some people that I have done more than what I have done for Tolu in the same capacity. You thank you for where now? How? Because now they assume that you are they are your problem, you are their problem. So everybody is familiar with each other. You can't do that. The first way to manage your relationships, know the access point. Know what moves this relationship to the next level. For some of your mentors, it may just be that you booked them a massage. The other day, one of my very, very, very important relationships, we were just gisting and she was talking about her face, and she was like, oh, that she doesn't like the way her face is, that it's oily and all of that. She now started asking me, she was like, oh, Olori, what do you use for your skin and all of that? And I was like, oh my gosh, do you think my skin is so pretty? I did all of that there. As soon as I left her, I called, I told my I told someone that helps me a lot. I said, call the people that supply me my facials. Quick, 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 quick. Let them give me what it is that I use. And I sent it to my mentor. If you see the message where she sent the next day, I now went over and beyond. I told her, I said, every month I have told my facials lady and the supply of those products to be sent to her house every month. She said, oh Lori, oh Lori. I said, Mama, you better turn the head of your vertical relationships. I'm going to make an announcement. I don't even know if I will, but I probably will at some point, of what a relationship did for me. I'm still in tears. When I think about it, I'm just crying. I'm just like, God, how? How? And he keeps saying it's honor. The state of your heart is what helped you to come out of many things. Some of you will go and see your mentors, your sponsors, your spiritual covering, all of those things, all of those things. You come, you know, hi, Papa, Papa, Papisco. You'll be greeting your, and that's okay. Please don't get me wrong. Hey, Papisco, Papisco, Papisca. I think it was one lady, I don't want to mention her name, during my birthday, and I'm telling you, I've been honored beyond stupor. Stupor. I'm telling you, it's crazy. My last birthday, all the people that matter to me gathered. I was not even in Nigeria. They gathered in my house and they did a party on my behalf. It's only wedding they used to do that one that in absentia. This one, they did my birthday in absentia. I logged on and I was weeping the whole time. 4 hours. We spent 4 hours on Zoom. And they were here. They dined. They prayed for me. As in, it was heavy. Heavy. If you don't learn how to remember what matters to your vertical relationships, then when you do what you need to do for them, it won't matter. It won't matter. If you honor me when I am great, you have honored me too late. Too late. You can't form familiarity with me. How? How do you want to form it? When I was in the ditch looking for a way out, looking for my growth pattern, looking for this, looking for, where were your prayers now? How far? Mm-mm. Manage the relationship by learning what matters to the person, not what you want to give. When you want to give what you want to give, so I gave you an example that if all you have is 500 naira, 500, 500, buy bread too, but go to the person and say, this is all I have. But don't buy the bread and say, I just thought of you. I thought to buy you bread. The person will be like, okay, okay. Voila. When you get the reward of bread, don't complain. Please don't complain. Now, I think to a large extent, I want to touch on very quickly how to strengthen your relationships with the systems, right? Number one, as simple as this is, please do it. Send messages intermittently to your vertical relationships. As God leads you to pray for them, as God leads you to intercede for them, please send them messages because it's lonely at the top. What did I say? It is lonely at the top. Your mentor, your sponsors, they probably don't have friends. They are probably like eagles. They just fly by themselves. You know, some people just fly by themselves. They don't want any this, that, and all. Visit them. Visit them, schedule your visits. One of my sons called me this evening. He said, Olori, I'm so happy you're in town. I'm coming to see you, blah, 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 blah. And I said to him, baby, I miss you. I miss you so much. I want to see you. Because I will say it in Yoruba, Omo to fin toro money. Please, interpreters on my, yeah, please help me. Right? Visit them. Gifts. I've told you what I do. One of my sponsors, what I'm even giving himself, I even want to double it because what he's doing for me, hey God. I said, Father, so it's now at a point where I have to ask the Holy Spirit what will make them go gaga. That's what I'm asking the Holy Spirit, and he should equip me to do it. So I don't know with the gaga, and I cannot afford the gaga. You understand what I'm saying? May you be able to afford your mentor's gaga. Right? Like I told someone, I said, please help me get a gift. I want to, because some people it's their children. I hope you know, some people it's their children that actually, once you start doing things for their children, it gets them all the time. This same Tolu, she's the only person, I repeat, only person in the people I live with and all of that. She will remember my children. Mama, please give this to the boys. Mama, please do this with the boys. Ha! My children's birthday, the people that remembered don't even have so much association with me. The people have a no, and yet you know that I waited on the Lord for those two children. So you think that anything you do for the two children, it will not matter to me? Be wise. Be wise. I always tell people that to win people's hearts, it's not a lot. You just need to be, you yourself need to be intelligent. Your mentor, it may be that she likes hotels. Book one night. Book one night. I have mentees that I have booked hotels for, and I'll say, go and rest. Go and rest there. Go and rest. There are some people that have paid their tickets to go to certain place. Go. There are some people, they tell me, oh, Mama, I need this money to be able to do this business, all of that. I say the only reason why they can ask me is because they have access to me. And I'm grateful that they find me worthy to help them. And little do you know that your mentors find it a privilege to be a blessing to you. But you are not maintaining the relation. The only time you send messages when you need something. Oh, please, please, I want to ask for stop. The taking is much. Calm down. Right? You need to sow seeds of honor in prayer. Pray for them. Pray for them from a place of burning and like, Lord, because they are rising, I know I will rise. You are attached to somebody. Oh. God did not create any man to be alone or to prosper alone. He has put in other men what you need. He has. Yes. Something else you need to also watch out for. In managing the relationship, you need to manage their temperament. Your mentor, your sponsor, your covering, they are not perfect. God did not create them to be perfect. So stop expecting them to be perfect. If they are not perfect, what it suggests is that you need to forgive ahead because they will definitely offend you. But don't let offense rise. Aye, please don't let offense rise. Once offense rises, your heart will begin to change. Your heart will begin to turn from that place of innocence and of learning and of purity, because offense wants to anchor you down into that place of um, ego and making you think that you are much better than this. You know, better than this. You don't deserve this because you two are somebody. Yeah, we are all somebody in Christ Jesus, but we have ranks. We have ranks. Make allowance for your upward vertical relationships. Please. I make allowance for my downward vertical relationships. I make allowance for my horizontal. I make allowance for my upward. Last, I take it to God and I say, God, this person is annoying me. I'll be like, God, this is not what I signed up for. And God will pet me, say, calm down. You know that I have not given one man all grace. I am the God of all grace, and it's only I that have it. The grace you don't have is in them. Go back. Hey, that was for somebody. That was for somebody. The reason why he wants you to go back is because it's a covenant relationship. It's not about a feeling relationship. It is not a feeling relationship. So give allowance. Another way to manage with these systems, you need to manage your expectations. Manage what? Your expectations. As you are called into their life, so also they are called into several other people's lives. Remember, you're the one that needs help, but you are not the only one that God has attached to them. He has attached that one person to thousands of people. And guess what? The time you met them, you may have been maybe the first 12 God used to break them into that place of thousands and tens and hundreds. But as they were growing, the Lord started to attach more people to them. And it meant that you have to fight for your place, not feel entitled for your place. You fight for your place. Don't let anybody relegate you because they've come on the scene. You also don't feel entitled that they are the only ones, or you are the only one that should be allowed in their life. It doesn't work that way, my dear lover, my dear sister, my dear brother. It doesn't. I've learned that as much as I am human and it hurts, sometimes when I send my mentors a message, even though that has really decreased a lot. Like now, my mentors, once they see my call, they pick or they call me back instantly. And I'll teach you a little thing or two about that. Manage your expectation. If you are just getting to know them, manage it even more because you are yet to prove your value. And that's why I laugh at mentees. I test all my mentees, all. Nobody gets a free pass with me. Absolutely no way. Because me testing you is my way of knowing how much growth is happening in you. Some people, I deliberately forget their birthday. Because I want to deal with that expectation in their heart that it's not always gonna be like this, baby. There will be a time where I'm sending you to trips to Barbados to just, baby girl, go. Baby boy, go. Those times will come, but earn it. Don't be entitled to it. Are you getting what I'm saying? And these things matter. These things matter. Because the moment you feel entitled to their attention, their love, or their time, then you begin to miss what you were supposed to come for, which was training, discipleship. That's the reason for everything. If we want to lay it bare, it's not for pamper you, mama you, papa you, kiniko, papisco, mamisco. It's not that. That is not the way forward. If that person is not perfect, you are not perfect. Why are you expecting a perfect relationship? And that's why I said communication is key. If there is something you do to them and you feel you've done the wrong thing, go to them and talk. Express yourself that I feel like I did something wrong. I've had that many times. And I always think people that do that, I respect them more than people who stay small when they could have been on the shoulder of somebody they were sent to ride on their shoulder. They now decide to stay small because ego won't let them apologize for that small mistake they made. If you made a mistake, go back to the person. Let me tell you, I'll repeat. Some covenant relationships, God is not going to change his mind because of your ego. You better go back. Go back fast, alele, because it will explain why a lot of things have not yet opened up because that person had the key. The relationship is a key issue. Relationships are keys. If that person offends you, they didn't meet your expectation, they didn't celebrate you with a post on Instagram by putting your picture on their main post and they only put it in their story, you are missing the point. This was never about feelings. This was never about emotionalism. This was a relationship by assignment, by covenant. Something else, relationship management. Know when to make requests and know how to make requests. When you need something from your vertical relationships, whether down or up, I feel like this is one of the hardest things I have found. I feel like people goof with that one big time, like big time. Um, right from wrong timing to the way the request was made to the lack of awareness of just really seeing that it's not yet time for you to be making this kind of request, or you're not in that position yet for you to be making that kind of request. When you ask too soon, you make that relationship funny. When you ask too late, also, sometimes I've had people ask me for opportunities and it was too late. There was nothing I could do because that ship had sailed, right? So I think it's important that the way you ask for things, how do you ask for things? It depends on what you want, right? You also have to ensure, as I said, relationships are like debit cards. So you withdraw when you need, you also need to deposit. You need to deposit. You need to deposit. And that deposit is what will allow the buffer so that when you're asking, the person is like, oh, yeah, sure, that's fine. Absolutely. Absolutely. But some of you, the person has given you their arm and leg. You want to collect their neck too and their head. Very good. Just know that by yourself, you will cut your ration short for the next opportunity. It's not a case of the person being evil. I think it's just a case of the person now sees that, oh, so if I put my head down, you would take everything. Like, clearly that's what you want to do, right? So you've got to be careful. These navigations, these management, this maintenance culture, you need to build it and repent. Because one of the things I've noticed is that to know me and know me for how I am is going to be better for our relationship. I say it to people, even my sister, my younger sister. We were having this conversation on Friday last week, and I was just talking to her because she claims I forgot her birthday, but I didn't forget her birthday. I didn't call her in the morning. I know that's what is paining her, that I didn't call her in the morning. So when I called in the evening, she purposely didn't pick my calls. And it was because I was having a tough time that period. It wasn't convenient for me to call that morning. I'd probably finished my vigil like 5. I'm not going to wake up at 7 just to call you. Absolutely not. So we came to a compromise. So she says, I would have loved even a text if you couldn't call. As she said that one, it catch me here. I was like, you know what? You're right. A text would have been good. And I learned that even with blood relationships, we will all vex each other. There is no way the tongue and the teeth will not fight. But to now not let it end is where the problem is. So in managing relationship, don't let the issues grow so big that it makes the relationship severed. That's what I would really advise. Nip it in the bud. As soon as you sense offense, nip it straight. Straight. Don't let it brew. Okay. And then another way to manage vertical relationships is don't let don't get into competition with the relationship you should be learning from. You hear me? Don't. It will not be good. It will not be good. Try your possible best to stay humble. Even if that mentor wants to push you out, like, you got it, you got it, you got this, man, you got this. And they start putting you in the front, telling you that you got it, you got it, and you too, you start getting it. You start doing bugawo. Just know that you are on your own. Because what will happen is people may begin to think outside that you're trying to be, like taking some limelight from your whoever it is that is teaching you or whatever. And it's not true. In your mind, you know what I'm saying? Like you're innocent. I actually agree with you. You're just doing your work, but it's like you're taking the light. Be conscious. Be conscious. Let your leader be the leader. In your own time, God will lift you. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. The shine is not for you to feel bad that you're not shining. You will shine. If your heart is right, don't worry, you will shine. Okay? Very, 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 very key. I'm going to take your questions in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes while I wrap up what I'm teaching tonight. So, I've said manage your expectations. Then the other thing I want to say is that you need to define milestones in your relationships. Let me explain what it means. It means that you can actually forget why you were sent to that person because you are now familiar with them. It's possible. Like you would genuinely forget that I was supposed to be trained on this. I was supposed to be trained on that. But because there's so much proximity, there's so much, parakpo and everything, you will forget why you are there. So you will now just be living in the moment, forgetting the purpose. Because these kind of relationships are purpose-driven relationships. They are not relationships to have anyhow, for any reason, for any cycle, for any circle. You need to understand it for what it is and treat it accordingly. My dear friend of blessed memory, Ubon King, I miss him all the time. He says when people come into his life, he says he marks them by four things. Either they are an addition, a subtraction, a multiplication, or a division. If you are a division or a subtraction, you are going into the destiny wasting relationship box. But the problem is that because you're in the same circle, guys, can you see it now? Because you're in the same circle, whether by proximity, whether by profession, whether by family, those family members where we say, they are your blood. Where do you want to put them? But they are drawing you back. It's just subtraction everywhere. Anything they do is like they are dividing everything in your life, and it's just you need to put them in a box. But the ones that are addition and multiplication, I'm begging you. If it's just even the person that is praying for you, if it's the person that runs errands for you, if it's the person that attends your classes, buys your programs, buys your courses, if it's the person that takes care of your children, if it's the person that helps you with your programs, your events, your planning, even your staff, because I have staff that are also my mentees, you have to make sure you define the relationship. Put a purpose behind it, otherwise abuse will be inevitable. Now, I'm going to go to the final part, relationship recovery. Relationship recovery. If you have found yourself in a place where you lost out on a particular relationship that was supposed to be destiny, a quality destiny relationship, then you want to try as much as possible after this particular session together, please eat humble pie. Jebure, even if they were wrong and you were right. And I know that happens 90% of the time because I've been there and I'm still there. I eat the humble pie every day, whether with my horizontal relationships, whether with my upward vertical relationship, I still do it. Your pastors will offend you, but are you going to stay offended? That's the question, right? Your leaders, those of you who have leaders in maybe certain communities, NGOs, and all of that, they will frustrate you. But you need the relationship because it was tied to the destiny and the fulfillment of your destiny, right? So for some of you, it's your boss. She was too bossy, right? Call it what you want. She says assertive, you say bossy. It's potato argument, right? For some of you, it's your parents. Your dad drives you crazy. The guy just makes your head to just be, you can't have a decent conversation with the guy. Like, it's so frustrating because you are saying right, he's saying left. But it's a covenant relationship. Honor thy father and thy mother so that your days may be long. It's the first promise is the first covenant with a promise, right? So these things are things that you have to mature in them. Don't let yourself get frustrated. Don't let yourself get knocked out of destiny because you mismanaged or because you were mismanaged. And I know that you have put yourselves in situations where you were taken advantage of, whether by people you trusted, people you respected, people you loved, people you served, and they still took you for a ride. My plea to you tonight is to forgive them. Please, let's start from there because the journey to restoration and recovery does not necessarily mean that there's going to be a reunion. It just means that you, of your own volition, have said, you know what, I let this go and I let go, and I'm free from the pain, I'm free from the unforgiveness, and I'm free from every stronghold of this relationship. Because the truth about it is, upwardly vertical relationships make you vulnerable. They release a certain level of vulnerability, which can be taken advantage of. I've been there, right? So I know, I understand. Some of you, it's your business partner that you are literally wondering how to manage the relationship with, whether because you feel that you are no longer the people you used to be when you started the business, or because you've not been able to make headway in the relationship enough for you to see why you are together anymore. So you're like, I want to give up, I'm done. But you also know in your heart that this person and I were supposed to do something great together. Go back to God and ask God to give you the wisdom on how to navigate that particular relationship, because a lot of the systems and management you need to put in, the systems you need to put in place to manage the relationship will require you to constantly go back to God and really ask God to help you to understand how the relationship has morphed, how the relationship has changed, and then how to proceed from here onward. So that could be that your partner is not growing as fast as you are. For some of you, it's your husband or your wife, and because they are not growing, you are frustrated. There's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of friction. In fact, for some of you, it's leading to a point of regret. And I don't want you to jump into that conclusion just so quickly, because you were once somebody who was growing and you're still growing. Nobody has reached the stage of perfection. So I need you to allow for God to step in. If you don't take these relationships to God, they will turn into destiny wasting relationships. So the onus is still on you to put yourself in a place where you know that, you know what, God, I know this relationship is for me, but I am right now tired, I'm frustrated, and I don't understand what to do. Please, Holy Spirit, help me. Help me. And you have to trust God for the wisdom. For some of you, it's your spiritual covering, right? You haven't called this year. You haven't sent them a thank you message in a while. You haven't sent anything, seed form, time form, nothing. You are just living your life. This life I have, I live it anyhow. That's not you. The assignment you have needs a covering, because otherwise there will be collateral damage. There'll be a lot of things that could have been avoided, but because the covering was no longer there, you start to experience a lot of hardship, a lot of unprecedented problems, unnecessary problems. The list goes on. You don't want that for yourself. So in relationship recovery, you have to take it process by process, depending on the context, depending on what happened, depending on the people involved. You're really, because some of it, you may never speak to the person again, but you're going to have to forgive. And that forgiveness is the anchor to ensure your soul is not corrupt and your soul is not misled and your will is also free. And that will being free is why you will let somebody else come into the picture. For some of you, it's like all bars are up. You're like, I don't do friendships. People complicated. People are crazy. Cray, cray. Listen, I feel you. But this is the issue. We need the people. We are sent to people and we need the people, right? So you're going to have to manage all the boxes. And it's a lot of work. I promise you, God had to give me my template of what works for me. I'm an ambivert. I am really an ambivert at my core. And because I'm an ambivert, it means that I need to understand my energy levels because people make me excited when I'm around them, but they also wear me out when it's not the right time, right? So I don't enjoy always being around people. And I'm not an introvert. That's not the same as being an introvert because I also love having people around me. I love people in my house. I love having people, do things with me. That is also me. So I think it's really important that you understand your own mechanisms of dealing with people so that your relationships will be better. Um, I think from little things like understanding how to set your alarm. Set your alarm. You know there's going to be birthday. You know there's going to be anniversary. You know there's going to be this, that, and the other. Set alarms. Like try your best to set alarms. Like today, I forgot, someone's birthday, and I was like, I swear it was April, but it was negligent of me because I should have known it was today. I mean, right? I have a busy life, sure, but I feel like if I had put it in and I'm going to, then I will always remember, right? And also because that person probably also deserves to now be remembered. It's not every birthday I'm going to put in my phone for sure. um I'm going to end with my 9 million story, my 9 million naira story. But before that, I just want to say that one of the easiest ways for you now, as somebody of faith who understands the power of covenant and relationships, anointing, grace, the easiest way you are going to get into the largeness of life. And when I talk about that, I'm not just talking about riches. I'm talking about even influence, even authority, even promotions, contracts, deals, appointments, what's this other word I want to use? You can elections and all those things. You get them through relationships. Some of you right now, the reason why you've been asked to serve certain people is because that person is on the rise. And as they are rising, guess what will happen to you too? If you serve with your heart, you will rise. You will rise. So it's not, God is not trying to mimic, God is not trying to, what's this English? He's not trying to make you look, um, excuse me, God is not trying to, there's a word. Like, when God is trying to make you look small. I can't remember the word. He's not trying to do that. He's not trying to humiliate you by asking you to go and serve someone. He's doing it because he's seen what you are going to get. You've lost time, you've lost resources, you've lost opportunities. The best and fastest way he can help you go up is to attach you to someone who is rising. So it's not about you serving them to serve that person. It's for your rising. It's for yours more than anybody, right? So please don't forget these little things. I think it's really important that we see the importance of relationships. The lack of maintenance causes you to be cut off, to be forgotten, closed doors. They won't even remember you for opportunities again. You that you were once gallivanting and you were really like the envy of everybody. Please don't let any relationship go sour or south. All right. Yes, belittle. Thank you, Mrs. O. Right. So I think one of the prayers that I would urge you to pray as you go to bed tonight is for God to really, really open your eyes so you can know who is important for you in this cycle and in which circle. Ask Him to open your eyes to see and repent wherever you've gotten it wrong. Ask Him to forgive and also put that forgiveness in your heart. And in some shape or form, you will have to send that person a message of, please forgive me. I'm sorry I didn't follow through, or I'm sorry that this and this and that. You will have to do that because at the end of the day, you're dealing with a human being. If you felt that energy, they've probably felt that energy as well. So just clear the air and move on and let God deal with the rest, you know. I think this is something that has set me free. Relationships has set me free in the sense of the kind of freedom I have, whether with my career, whether with my finances, my marriage, with my children. It's relationships that set me on this path of freedom. And and that's why I teach it so passionately, because I know where I lived, guys. I know my background. I know what I was eating every morning with my grandmother of blessed memory. I know where my life could have ended up. But this relationships changed the course of my destiny to the point where I married the right man. At some point in my life, I almost married a Muslim, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I know that that was not part of the destiny that God had actually made out for me. In fact, that Muslim relationship helped me to know that, okay, there are certain things here that you need to work on. That relationship helped me. Everything has a purpose. For those of you who did marry a Muslim, God has a reason. God has a reason. You can't get to a point like, so, I mean, the argument then becomes, oh, why did you marry somebody who is not of your kind? Or a Muslim person says, because I have my auntie, my mom's youngest sister, she married a Muslim and her husband converted and all of that. And that was what she wanted. But in another case, if you married somebody and in that relationship, things go south, how do you navigate that? How do you navigate that? Right? Um, but anyway, we're not talking about marriage tonight. I might talk about that for the next one, but not today. So I think it's really important to be humble. Let us all be humble. Let us all really understand that we are being taught, we are being led, we are being fashioned after God's kind, his heart. And we have to let him do that work in us. We have to let God do that work in us. If we're to move from A to Z, as we know, then we're going to have to let God really, really, really use us in this season. And so that you will find favor everywhere you go, you have to sow and sow well. I tell people, if you don't know how to build people, you don't know how to invest in people, where you will go will not be much. It will not be much. I'm telling you, this one, I can prove it even. You won't go far. You are not investing in anybody. The people you are being called to, you are not serving them adequately. Is you, how you will succeed, how you don't want to be poor, how you want to start your business, how you want to live a big life. No problem. Um, please just know that money is not the only thing that is a currency. Relationship is currency as well. With these few words of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you, not confuse you, that you need relationship mapping, relationship management systems, and relationship recovery where needed. Thank you guys for joining this month's Reinventing Yourself series. I hope it has helped. I hope you've gained clarity. I'm going to take your questions. Let me take your questions in the chat box. and we'll go on for another 10 minutes. Questions, 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 questions. Thank you, Omatola. Thank you, Henrietta. Thank you, Victory. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Nigerian boss lady. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Mrs. O. All too kind. All right, questions. I think while I'm waiting for you guys to type, is just to reiterate and reinforce the fact that one of the, you know, when you're mapping your relationship, just make sure you put God at the top, right? So you just put God here, nice and big and bold, because it's from Him all blessings flow. So even if people are going to be mapped out, those people are forms of blessing from God, right? So God is the highest form of relationship you need intact, like this giddy bag, 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 bag. And I think it's important to maybe understand that the healthier your relationship is with God, the more you are going to enjoy a lot of blessings, a lot of blessings. Let me leave it like that. Please don't be like the prodigal son who chose money over the relationship he had with his father. I think these are one of the issues I've seen recently. Like a lot of people are just running after things that really don't matter, and the relationships they've been asked to steward, the relationship they've been asked to serve, they've been asked to 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 um to steward is lacking, and it's non-existent. Some of you are answers to people's prayers right now, but because you're not availing yourself, you're not allowing yourself to be found by other people. It's just a real mess. So please map well. Okay, questions are number one. You're welcome, Christiana. Um, Kenny says, for me, I take a while before placing a demand on mentors because I don't want to dishonor them. How well can I improve on this? Okay, so first of all, Kenny, is to please don't ask from any mentor if you don't bring value to the table. I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm saying. So like when I have my one-to-ones with my, and this is a good question actually, because I was asking the Lord, and this is why I say you've got to go back to God with these relationships, because if you try and navigate it with head knowledge, you will perform you perform like subpar. I don't know if that's a word, but it will not be up to par. So please try not to make a demand until you've brought value to this mentor in question. So I don't know if you mean a sponsor or a mentor or an advisor. You need to break it down, because I also don't want people to call everybody mentor. Not everyone's your mentor. Not everyone is your mentor. Your sponsor does not necessarily need you to bring any value like that, because they are the ones kind of handing you the opportunities. But over time, as you begin to grow as a result of what they're giving you, you should be able to bring back value. And if you can even do it before then, fantastic. Because I got to that point over the weekend. I was saying to God, I was like, Lord, there's a particular person that I want to be a major source of blessing to them. And I want God to give me what will blow them away because I brought it to them, right? So for you, Kenny, I think please don't place a demand if you've not brought value, right? And value could be things like finding the places where your mentors have gaps. So, for example, a young lady, I don't even know if she's young, I'm just calling her a young lady. She reached out to me during the week and she was like, "Oh, Olori, thank you so much for the reinventing yourself series, da 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 da." That she wants to help me with something to do with my YouTube and all of that. Now, I'm not saying that you need to give something every time. What I'm trying to say is you need to ensure you can create the allowance for your mentor to even listen to you. um how do I explain this better? Let me do a better job. If this girl who has helped me now should come back and say, OBA, please, I need, will I listen to her, Kenny? Am I more likely to listen to her? Right? Because she found where I am lacking. She didn't even ask me. She found it, she saw it because maybe it was her expertise or something. But then you also find where you can put the gap, find where you can do that for them. It's really not that hard. So please just try. You won't dishonor them by the time you show up with value. Trust me. Okay. So I think what you really need to work on is being valuable to your relationships with your mentors. Find that sweet spot for them so that they can allow you to ask for anything. Okay. Nigerian boss lady says, how can we tell the end of a cycle or a season of a relationship, especially a vertical one? So typically, what happens is that there's a mutual feeling about it, whereby, and I'll tell you this from my personal expertise, personal experience. So usually what starts to happen, because not all relationships must end, right? Some relationships are covenant and they're going to be with you like forever. Like you are stuck with them, they are stuck with you. There are some relationships like that. So I think the first thing to say, Nigerian boss lady, is make sure you know which ones in your life are forever, which ones are for this season, this cycle of your life, and for the circle that you are in, right? So it's up to you to know when you have changed and you are moving on in a cycle. So there was a period where you were, for example, I'm just using this as an example, you are not married, right? And then all of a sudden you get married and God starts to change your circle, right? Because he's like, okay, I want you to kind of hang around more women who are all of that. You need to ease out of your single ladies. And the truth is, they will understand. That's what I'm saying, that there are some that it's clear. I can't be hanging around with just my single friends again and I'm married. Or maybe, for example, you've just joined, you are now senior manager. You now still be, dealing with certain things that you shouldn't be maybe in your workplace. You have to move, because if you don't, those how do I explain it? You could literally draw yourself back into those places, old habits, old like, how do I explain this? You can draw yourself into a place where you don't want to be, put it that way, right? So I think it's important for you to know the purpose of those relationships and be able to discern, like, what's happening. Is it the end, or is it the distraction? Or is it me allowing my ego? Check all those boxes and just make sure that you are truly, truly at the end. And then just let God help you to ease out and ease into the next places. Look, you and I know, Nigerian boss lady, our best friends in high school, where then they? How many of us really, really like have our best besties from, and if some people do, that's great. It could be one of those relationships I was just saying is forever. My mom and her best friend, they've been best friends since they were 21, and they're now in their late 50s and they're still going, quite strong. That could be one of those relationships. But at the same time, it's left for you to be very discerning. Ensure you've stripped yourself of this, maybe asking questions to know that, okay, am I sure it's not my feelings that is making me feel I've come to the end? You will know, right? So just try not to misdiagnose the situation of the relationship. Make sure everything is cool in your heart. You know that it's the end, and just ease out of it, and just say, God, thank you for what this relationship has brought to me. Thank you for everything I learned. I have friends right now that I was under their tutelage when I was rising and growing and, finding my feet in ministry and blah, blah, blah. And now I feel like the Lord has helped us to now what's the word, relabel the relationship. And Nigerian boss lady, please be open to that. The end does not necessarily mean completely out. END is actually an acronym for entirely new direction, right? Entirely new direction. So it might be the end of you guys coming to what's the English now? Might be the end of you coming to that part of your relationship, but now God wants to now make both of you morph into another type, and that's okay. That's why it's really on you than the other person, right? Be discerning, understand what God is saying, and be ready to be flexible if it is a redefinition of that relationship. Hope that helps. Below par. That was it. Thank you, Shei Atkins. Oh. All right. So Moto Lua says, thank you so much, Mama. How can I get over the anxiety of building relationships generally? I find myself pulling back every time there's a relationship budding. So that is more a background issue. It's not really a you issue. And I don't want you to label it as, oh, this is how I am. It's actually probably from an unresolved past issue that you've not come out of mentally, and you're going to have to address that from a spiritual and a mental place. And if you need to get therapy about it, there's nothing wrong. So you can really find the root cause of why there's that anxiety. And I understand it because I used to have that, but mine was from a place of I moved around so much when I was growing up. Like I moved around so much. I went to 4 primary schools, right? Motosi and Lua. So I was constantly on the move, because I didn't live with my parents when I was growing up. So, just going from this auntie to this uncle to this, all of that. So I never like to form attachments because I feel like I'm going to be up and I'm leaving. I'm leaving soon. That's always what I say. And because of that, it meant that if I felt like somebody was trying to get too close, I'm like, oh, I'm probably going to be out of here. Interestingly, as an adult, I have moved around quite a bit, even with my family. We've moved 5 times in 3 years, So I probably maybe still have remnants because I'm not like that anymore. But some of you are also not used to people being nice to you. Like once people start being nice to you, just close up. Like, what do they want? What do they want in return? I don't have what I can give them back. And you get all like really funky. Some of you, I know this because I work with women. Some of the women I work with don't understand why I'm so nice. They think there's something this lady wants. There's something there must be because they're not used to it. Meanwhile, I grew up this way. Remember, I told you I had a father that gave, if he could give his arm for somebody's son to go to school, he will. So giving in my nature is a nurture issue, not a um I don't know how to explain it, but the reason why I'm the way I am and the work I do is because of nurture. I was nurtured this way. Love people, give. It's okay. And now I found more meaning beyond the nurture to see how it fits into my destiny and what I'm called to do on this earth. And I found out that it's a perfect fit. God did it good. All right. So, Motosiolua, I would say that you really need to check more on the mental and the background. It might have been a trigger for you when you were younger, something happened. You need to go backwards, right? And figure that bit out. All right, guys. So, we have about 5 more minutes. I'm going to take 1 or 2 more questions and we'll call it a night. When can we draw the boundaries when dealing with the lower vertical relationships, especially for those who feel for those you feel called to serve? Fantastic. Thank you, Simon, for that question. It's a good one. First things first, Simon, is go and read a book called Boundaries. One of my dearest sisters, friends, she recommended the book to me last year or year before. I can't remember now. But read the series. It's like a series: boundaries in relationship, boundaries in marriage, boundaries in friendships, work. Like it's a series of many boundaries you need to set. So I'd say please read that for bigger context because I can't answer that in just the few minutes I have. But I think it's to set those boundaries from the onset. So for me, a lot of the people who are lower vertical in relationship, invading my space is not allowed. I genuinely don't like when I'm alone and you don't know what I'm doing and you just come and think it's okay to approach me, I think that's wrong, because especially if you know the nature of that person, maybe they're in ministry, and you know they have a lot of ministrations, you know they need to pray, you know they need to prepare, and then you just come, bah, 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 and so I hear you, but the boundaries need to be very upfront. So you've got to tell them, like, hey, this is not happening with me because of this and because of that. Let them also let it be a two-way communication, because it's possible for the upward vertical relationships to cross the line. I think it's okay as well for the lower one to tell you and say, well, I don't really like meeting you in your house. Is it okay for us to meet in a cafe or in a hotel or something? Like, allow for that two-way communication in boundary setting, because if you're the only one setting the boundaries, then it kind of feels like a prison to that person. Like, am I in a prison or am I in a relationship? Because it's supposed to be a two-way kind of thing. So yeah, I think, you know, it's really just stating those boundaries up front. Okay, I've got 3 minutes left. I'll take one more question. Um, my question is how one can fight for their spot with a mentor without seemingly so competitive, like a desperado, gold digger, even if you don't know the expectations of the mentor. So I feel like this comes from a genuine place. For you to be able to fight for a spot with the mentor means that your heart is genuinely for that mentor. So it's not about, you're not even fighting for the spot to get something from the mentor. You just genuinely want to be the first, like I want to serve, and I want you to know that I'm here and I'm available. And sometimes just making it very clear, that thank you. So, like, how do I explain it? It varies from mentor to mentor for sure. But I think what is important is for you to know how that person values who they call first right now. So, of course, me, I'm not the kind of mom that says, I don't have a favorite. I have favorites. Do you understand? So I have some people that when they call me, like, that my son I said called me today, I saw his call. I picked it. I was in the middle of my retreat, but I picked it because I was glad to hear from him, right? But I think it's because of his heart, right? In the closet, in the open, he understands how to maintain our relationship. He doesn't ask me for things that he has not yet become of age for, or time for with me. He doesn't make me feel like this is a one-way relationship. He's asking me, Mama, what can I do? I give him a task, he does it. I'm not there thinking, hey, did he get it? Did he not get the memo? He will do it. He will get back to me. There are some people that I give them something, I have to check it because I know it's not probably been done properly, right? Little things like that. So first place isn't about pleasing the mentor. It's really about your heart and how really dear this relationship is with you, it is for you, and how you're then able to um you know like gain your spot. So it's not by kirakita. It's not that kind. Is it okay to outrightly ask your upward relationships for review or appraisal? Appraisal of what? What do you mean appraisal? I don't understand that question. Thank you so much for this. How do you place people in your vertical relationships into the right heading and relate with them accordingly? Where are you headed, Shay? It depends on where you are headed. Like right now, my career is a big thing for me for the next 10 years. So from 2020 to 2030, from 2020 to 2030, that timeline is really important for me because of my career, because of my mobility. So I'm going to be placing the headers based on my 10-year plan, right? um who can open doors, who can I be of help to, who is going to find my intellect, my experience, job experience, career experience useful to what they are doing. Sometimes I write to my sponsors. I'm like, please, if there's anything you think I'll be a good fit for in opportunity or in what you are doing, please let me know. I will make the time. I'm not too busy. So I say things like that to them so that they know that I'm available. Just because I'm OBA does not mean that I cannot be there. I know where I'm going and I know I need help to get there. I don't know who the author of the Boundary series is. If you go on Google, it's there. Just put Boundaries book. It will come up with the series. I can't remember the guy's name. Um, so Tosin says you're going to share. Yeah. So kind of gone over with this now. I didn't want to go into this too, like I've shot over time by a good 13 minutes. So what I will do is I will just tell you the long and short of the story, because it's just similar to not allowing stupidity and money rule you in replacement for what could have given you a lifetime of access. So I had a relationship that opened doors for me at a time when I needed it, but the 9 million was what was supposed to come to me, and all I had to do was pay for something for the person who opened the door for me, and I didn't think at the time to make sure that this person was well taken care of. And because of that, I felt at the time, and this is why communication, when you think something is wrong with your relationship, don't, because what you're internalizing may be wrong, right? It may be exaggerated, it may be false, and you are making the situation worse by allowing yourself to think on it and brood on it and meditate, because it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, by the time I had gotten to a point where I realized my folly, I sent a message to the person, because I'm always grateful when I realize I've been stupid, because trust me, I will beg you and you will forgive me. So I sent a long message. I was like, I now explained it from my point of view, and now came to the point in the message where I was now saying, I'm really sorry that I didn't see it this way, even though the person never said anything. The person never said anything, but she was like, she did like this smiley face and all of that. And please let me say this for the record: if you send your mentor or sponsor or any upward vertical relationship a message, and you type your life, your heart, your soul, your spirits inside that message, and all they say is thank you, God bless you, be okay with it. There's nothing wrong, because that is not the point for them to respond to you. You are depositing. Remember, it's a deposit. Keep depositing. The day it will come through, it will come through for you, right? So don't say, thank you, God bless you, she's upset with me. There's no need for that. You're just making up stories in your head, and there's no need, trust me. And I apologized to her, because it was just 38K that I was supposed to, in return, do, for her. Anyway, so I learned my lesson, and she forgave me, and we're back. We're back for sure. We're back, and I'm grateful that she forgave me. And that's why I say to people, the person will forgive you if you were stupid and you are called to them, or they are called to you. All right. So thank you guys. I'm so grateful I got to do this with you again in May. I am looking forward to 3 meetings that I want to tell you guys about. So 3 amazing meetings, amazing meetings. The first one is, as some of you know, or those of you who are listening to me for the first time, I have a ministry expression called The Secret Garden, which started in 2017. And God gave us so much, of Himself. And He still does in every year, in every meeting. In 2018, we did 2, one for men, one for women. In 2019, we did for women and men, actually, again. And in 2020, the pandemic hit, so we couldn't really do much. 2021, we held in, did we hold in Nigeria? I can't remember now. But this year we started again, and we were in the UK in January, and it was awesome. And I'm happy to announce that we're going to be having Secret Garden Nigeria on December 9th and 10th. I hope I'm right because I'm sure one of the team members is on. Mrs. O, if you could paste the registration link. So we are looking to do a different form of Secret Garden Nigeria this year. Pray for us, pray for us, pray for us, pray for us. We want to fill up. I'm just going to say it because that's really where my heart is. I really want to do Eco Hotel. I really want to do Eco Hotel for the Friday vigil. So we're going to be having a massive Friday vigil. And then the actual retreat is going to be, and that felt good saying that actually. I like that I said that. Whew, that felt really good. So Friday, we're going to start the meeting Friday. So people will check in Friday in the where we're going to lodge and all of that. Then I'm looking at Eco Hotel or Redemption Camp. I think it's a either or situation. Those are the two places we're looking at. Is Mrs. O on the call? Could you please put the registration link in the chat box? Let us get ourselves registered. And then we're having Secret Garden Ethiopia. Yeah. So there's going to be Secret Garden Ethiopia that's going to hold in February. I was talking with one of the organizers. It's going to be epic, epic. We're just so grateful to God that the nations are opening up. And then we are going to do Secret Garden UK, January, I believe that is 28 to 30 again. I think so. So if anybody here, because what we're looking at is, can someone help me reach out to Mrs. Olusoji? Because I need the link up before you guys go so you can really just begin to sign up. We are looking for about 500 volunteers because we want it to be massive. We're talking thousands of people. This meeting is not the usual you're all used to. God has upgraded. He has really, really upgraded our capacity. But I think it's important to just note that in order for us to get to this level, we're going to need to get a lot of volunteers. So if you want to volunteer, I'm coming. Let me see. I'm trying to see if, please hold on a second. Is the link up? Mrs. Olusoji, can you respond? Is the link up? Because I can't see the link. Can you guys see the link, or am I the only one that I can't see the link? I can't see the link. All right, so we need 500 volunteers. What we're looking at, yeah, no one can see the link. Mrs. O, please put the link in. She said she's put it in, but nobody can see it. Okay, guys, give me a second, please. You will have it in 1 minute, guys. Let me just quickly post it. But I hope you guys understood tonight's message, and I hope you know that it came from a place of absolute love. And I'm definitely looking forward to your recovery stories. I'm looking forward to your, different points of learning. Um, 1 second. Okay. All right, fantastic. Okay, guys, so you should have the link now. Do you have that? Please let me know if you can click on that link. Okay, great. So please click on the link, fill it out. We want, as like I said, 500 volunteers across the 3 nations that I said. So if you want to come to Ethiopia, we're going with a delegation from the UK and Nigeria. So please put your dates in mind. We have, don't forget, December 9 and 10. It's going to be a wave, a true wave. The theme for Secret Garden is roar, roar. So we're going to be roaring into the nations like heavily, really, really, really heavily. Send to your friends because we're going to start our volunteers training and meetings in June. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be training myself as well as bringing on those who have been in the Secret Garden family for a while. The UK team is headed by various leaders. I'm sure some of them are on tonight. The Nigerian team, if you want to join them, they're also headed by a group of leaders. The Ethiopia team, I would have to know if you're interested, particularly if you can. I mean, on the form, I hope there's somewhere you can put where you are interested in. Please let us know. We started planning 2 weeks ago, so please, yeah, let's make the devil really, really, really scared and chasing out of many nations this year. I'm thinking of Secret Garden US, just because I know my itinerary and I know that I will be at some point, but I will let everyone know if we will do Secret Garden US this year or next year. So please put those dates down. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I cannot believe we did 3 hours, but have yourselves a lovely weekend. Ciao, ciao.